I think I have a cousin who knows who, first of all, he has a lot of nieces and nephews. He understands, but when you really have your own kid, like, it's different. Like, you're not gonna be eating out. You're not gonna be cruising whenever you want. You're not gonna be able to go to sleep whenever you want. All that changes, and I think a lot of people think, oh well, that's your kid. You should be doing like this. I'm like, no, it's you don't understand. It's different. Not that we didn't treat him like our child. It was just it's different. I don't know. It was like I said, we could have done stuff differently ourselves, but I mean it's different. We did ask our boys, you know, at a certain age, GabbyRod talked about, when should we bring it up to our boys, because they were 2 and 3, and Caleb, he was 3, and he knew that he remembers other people. Dominic didn't, but he remembers other people, and while we would, punish him on certain stuff, that they were doing bad or whatever. We didn't. Well, I didn't. Well, I think more you. When they get older and say, you know what, you're not my dad, or you're this and that, or you held us back from learning about our parents and our biological parents. So we had always talked about, when's a good time, and my oldest son always had a thought like, that doesn't sound right. Like, you would see his face. Like, we would be talking about something, because him and Olivia, at first we said they were almost like twins, because they're basically almost the same age, but they're separated by months. And he would always be like, well, why is she there, or why does she remember that, or memory, or this and that. So we always talked about, like, when is the right time.
Or we had, like, I think we took down, like,
pictures,
and there's pictures that we had of the girls when they went to SeaWorld, and he would wonder where was he at.
And we would say, oh, you were at grandma's, you weren't feeling well, or whatever. We would have to come up with something like that, which we were lying. But I mean, like I said, I mean, some maybe
we weren't
some adopted parents would have probably told him from the start. That's why I said.
Well, he was acting out.
But that's what I'm saying.
We did let them know that they were adopted.
But there's no right or wrong to it. You know what I mean? And every kid's different. You can't. And that's what I'm saying. People don't know. You don't understand. I don't know what it is to have a special kid's needs. A kid in a wheelchair. I don't know that. I mean, think this and that, and you don't know. You don't know how much trouble. Maybe you got to get a different vehicle to carry the wheelchair. It's so much. I mean, you don't understand. So you can't speak on something like that. You may have an idea. Yeah, you probably got to get a bigger van. Yeah, you probably got to get a. I don't know. I mean, just other stuff. So we didn't we didn't know, and so we talked about it every now and then, and finally we. I can't remember how old he was. 10 maybe? 9? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, maybe about a year ago. I think we told him.
Longer than that.
No.
Yes, the pandemic has been longer than that. It's been longer than that.
But anyway, so my thing is also, if you plan on fostering a child, please, I beg y'all, treat them right. When our boys were coming to visit us, Dominic, he was already 2 years old, wearing 12 months to 18th month clothes. Now, I know he was a small little dude, but he wasn't that small. And their shoes were really, really tight on their feet. Their toenails would grow along the toes, like they would curve along the toes, because the shoes were so tight.
That was the first thing we bought them.
Yeah, that was the first thing we bought him was shoes and clothes.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not sure about how their toenails are right now. You know, they clip their own toenails
Long.
now.
Nah.
But you know, like I said, just treat them right, and
But I mean, okay, yes.
potty training.
Yes, but who's to say we know how things go when you foster? Yeah, I mean that's your part of your job.
No.
Yes, but I'm just saying that's part of your job. Yes, shoes. Yes.
Because
clothes,
she was.
Yes.
The thing is they were getting free clothes.
Yes.
They were getting free shoes.
Yes.
They were getting a lot of free things. Plus, on top of that, being paid to take care. And my kids were not being taken care of. They were not. And the thing was, is I brought it up to, you know, CPS, you know, hey, this is what's going on. They're like, well, they're meeting the standards, you know, and I'm like, that is just some BS.
Yeah, I the shoes and well, I mean the clothes. I'm trying to think the clothes.
They got free clothes.
But I'm trying to think how they fit on them. I know the shoes were. That's something I didn't like. They were really tight on them.
And potty training. You know, they would come over on the weekends, and I would be trying to potty train them because they were both in diapers.
And we when we send them back, we told them, hey, you know,
yeah, I was
they do pretty good.
Yeah, they were doing pretty good.
And then we get them back the next week, and we have to start all over.
Yeah. And then I talked to daycare, and they're like, oh no, you know, we try to potty train. Because I went to the daycare and I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is my plan. And they're like, oh no, we do try to. It's, you know.
Oh yeah.
Foster
daycare.
mom.
Yeah,
Foster mom would put them back in daycare.
We would pick them up
from
their daycare, the foster parents' daycare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyways, we finally sat down and told them the truth, and you know, I think it was a lot for them.
Dominic, he cried.
Yeah.
They're still my babies.
Oh yeah, and we asked them, was there any questions, anything they wanted to know. You know, we could only tell them what we knew about the parents.
Well, they didn't ask about the parents.
No, they didn't ask about them, but I'm just saying. Even later on, if they had any questions, and then every once in a while,
I'll ask them.
Yeah,
you know, do they want to know about anything? I do ask them. You know, as far as their other siblings, would they want to meet them? And they told me no. The boys have to. I know later on, you know, it might change. You know, and I'm always open. You know, but as far as them right now, they don't want to know anything.
I mean, I think eventually they did. Later on, they.
Yeah, I think so. Nicole, you know, we just recently. Well, actually, my niece had gotten in contact with the 3 that were closed adoption, and so you know, our oldest is like, you know, she just can't wait, you know, for the day and stuff. You know, it's taking time right now. You know, as far as meeting them. It's on their time because they've been through a lot as well. You know, they have a lot of trauma, you know, that they've been through. So yeah, it's a lot. Mm. And right now, currently, you know, Jonathan's just the one mainly working.
Oh, I am the only one.
You know, I hurt my back, so I'm here with the kids.
Oh, another thing is okay. Well, when we had the kids in daycare, just 2 girls, it was costing us like $500-$600 a month at where I worked at. They had a daycare there.
And that was discounted.
Yeah, supposedly that was discounted. And then, you know, she was working, and basically whatever she was working would basically go right back to the daycare, so it really wasn't worth her working. Then we got these other kids, you know, so she really didn't work for a good while. I think you worked off and on here and there.
I tried work, yeah.
But it just wasn't really benefiting us. You know, we can't have my mother-in-law watch kids. You know,
She was working.
she was working.
She was working
yeah, she
a
was
lot
working.
at the time too.
So I mean, it just never really was right. You know, and
So I was a stay-home mom for years. You know,
15 as a matter of fact. Nah, I'm joking. Because I've been with you for 15.
you liar.
Nah, but she worked off and on.
I did. I did. But yeah.
So yeah, that yeah, it's a. So yeah, so, what were we talking about? You working? and
Me
what?
working on and off. I gotta tell you, during this pandemic, having to school 6 kids, you know.
Well, the first year, it's over there on the table. The first, when the pandemic first started, was after spring break. They said they weren't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So the end of that year, wasn't so bad. It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't so bad. Then when they started school again, they weren't going to school. You know, that's when they were passing out laptops and all this stuff, and it was just. They didn't make it simple. They should have just kept it simple. Put a worksheet on there. I understand they need to learn, but put a worksheet on there, and it was. Then they weren't getting the
assignments.
The assignments he turned in for some
it was
reason.
becoming incomplete.
Yeah, and they were getting zeros, and you know, we asked them, hey, so they would have to send it again. It was just a big mess.
And I
man.
mean, I would have to learn. Oh my goodness, it was such a headache.
Then they all had different accounts.
They had all different accounts. I would have to take pictures of their assignments, and then send them to the teachers, and then turn it in through the computer, through the way that they were supposed to turn it in.
I'm pretty sure a lot of my dad had the same
Lord.
with my sister. That they said she didn't turn stuff in, and he said he works on it with her. He would turn it in with her, like he was part of a student, you know. And he was frustrated. Y'all would call him, because you could just hear in his voice he was mad. I didn't want to talk to him, man, because he gets. Oh, speaking of my dad, I know last one that I said he was a felon. I don't mean that in a bad way. You know, I love my dad. I love my mom. I love all my family.
I still look at those videos, man. They make me crack up. I'm sorry.
But yeah.
But no, they're really good people. You know, I love them. I love them. I love them. I do.
Yeah. Well, speaking of my dad, he was an alcoholic when I was younger, and I don't know if we're talking about people or do want to bring in, but he wasn't gonna make it. He had a bad liver, and he was into drugs. I think I mentioned that, and he had a bad liver, and then they told him, I think, a year without medication, 2 years with medication, and I was on unless he gets a transplant. Luckily, he got a transplant. And you know, and he's here today, and he's helped. You know, my mom. He helps my mom a lot. He stays over there, you know, with my mom. I mean, my mom has a boyfriend, but he's always there because my sister. Matter of fact, my mom adopted my sister because she's from her mom. She's my half sister, and so when my dad was sick, he gave rights to my mom. Basically, my mom adopted her because we wasn't sure if my dad was gonna make it and stuff like that. So she's the adopted parent. That's my mom, and my dad is her stepmom. Would it be her stepmom?
Yeah.
Yeah, her stepmom.
Or her adoptive mom.
Yeah, sort of way. Yeah, her adoptive mom. So, anyways, so he got a transplant, luckily, and like I said, he's been nothing but help to us all. I mean, he was always helping. It just he had a problem, you know, and so I mean he's doing better now. I wanted to say stuff, but I don't know if I should say it.
What?
Nothing. Oh, nothing.
What is all this? You have like cat
Yes,
hair
yes.
and red lint.
Oh, we have all the animals.
Speaking of animals, you want to get into that topic?
No, I don't.
You don't want to get into the animals? So, during all this, COVID happening and stuff, we had only Gaga, Cinderella, and Molly, which are 3 girls, and they were fixed. Okay? No puppies, no nothing. Then all of a sudden, I saw a Doberman always walking about. And, I told, Jonathan, I said, I don't know if that Doberman has an owner, and just like he would be, he's walking around, and then Jonathan saw him tied up over here in our neighbor's yard. And
well, he was in our yard. He was in our yard.
Yeah,
one of our dogs were in heat, I think.
Oh, this was another dog that we had before.
Yeah.
But she got out and she ran off.
So anyways, I had chewed him off, and he didn't really bark at me or nothing. He just kind of like backed off a little bit, kind of looked at me like I was stupid. So anyways, well, I was like, well, it has to be somebody's dog.
It was during winter time.
Yeah, it has to be somebody's dog. It's a Doberman, pretty Doberman, red.
Clipped ears,
docktail. He looked
red.
Yeah. So anyways, I saw him one time after I chewed him away. I saw him on the neighbor's, right, chained up, and he was barking. I was like, okay, well, it's the neighbor's dog and shit like that. Well, anyways, the next day, he was gone, right? So, and it was gone for a while, and then it came back with a sweater.
Mm-hmm.
He came back with a sweater, and we're like, well, damn. I had asked the neighbor, hey, is that your dog? He's like, no, I had him in the backyard, but he was barking all night, so I let him go. So that's when he took off. But when he came back, he had a sweater on. Somebody put it. So I guess somebody else had to, put a sweater on, and somebody tried keeping him. So anyways, he came back, and he was still in my yard, and I was like, well, damn, So that's when she said, well, let's see if he's somebody's,
So, we live in a corner house.
Yeah, so we kept him out. He was outside.
He was outside during the day, and then he would come in at night because it was, it was getting cold. And, it was, what time, when was it? Around Christmas?
Yeah, around there.
I mean, we waited a while. We waited a while,
and I was like, okay, well, after a while, we said, okay, well, if nobody gets him in a month or 2 months, something like that, we'll go get him checked. I think it was a month. I said, we'll go get him, see if he's chipped. So we took him to the vet, see if he was chipped. They're like, no, he's not chipped. And I go, well, how does that work? What's the process? And he go, well, it's basically your dog. You can take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited. I didn't want to act excited, I was like, oh, poor family, he's a good dog, So anyways, well, we named him Diesel.
Got him chipped
right away.
Shots up to date and everything.
Shots, everything.
Luckily, we chipped him because he went for a long hike.
Yeah, so check it out. We had just chipped him. Maybe about a week later, gone. He took off. And we're like, damn, man, we just paid that money for the chip, and it wasn't a lot of money, but it was like, I think 100 or something. It's actually called Home.
Home again or something?
Home again. So anyways, he was gone. I was like, fuck. We went around the streets, couldn't find. I was like, okay, well that's about it. So it was like a day later. We got a call from Home Again, and they say, hey, your dog Diesel is at such and such address. We're like, what? Okay, so we went over to the address.
Oh, they gave us a number.
Yeah, they gave us a number to the
people
who had him. So we called and said, hey, can we go pay? Yeah, I live here. So when he was all the way down from where we live, it's about, let's see, it's not past Houston, is it?